In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Sailor Professional Gear fountain pen. I'll go over the specs, I'll do a writing sample, and I'll tell you what I like and don't like about this pen coming up. Blake here with Blake's Broadcast. On this channel, I review fountain pens, paper, and ink. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps out my channel. As always, I put links in the show notes in the description below. Alright, let's get on with the review. This is the Sailor Professional Gear fountain pen. This is the full-sized version of the Professional Gear. For those of you that are unfamiliar with Sailor, there are two main lines that Sailor has. The Pro Gear, which is this pen here, which has these flat tops, and then the 1911, which is more of a traditional torpedo-shaped pen or cigar-shaped pen. Now there are various sizes for both the 1911 and the Sailor Professional Gear. There is a mini, a slim, standard, which is this pen, and then there is a King of Pen, which is their oversized version. So this is the full-sized version. Now within the Professional Gear line, there is the Classic, which is this one, and then there is also one called the Professional Gear 2, which has a more, I would say, thicker, more masculine looking clip. I don't personally find that pen to be better looking than this one. Also, the finial is a little bit longer and tapers a little bit more. I really think this is the better looking version between the Classic and the Professional Gear 2. This is a cartridge converter pen. There is a piston filler version called the Realo, I think that's how you say it, and really the only advantage of that pen would be that you have an ink window right here where you can see the level of the ink. It's also more expensive. This is the best version, in my opinion, of the Professional Gear, other than the King of Pen, which is more than double the price of this pen. Let's walk through the pen. So we have a black plastic body, silver trim. Cap ring here says Sailor, Japan, founded 1911. Clip here, kind of a stepped clip. It kind of just comes up to a high point here in the middle. Finial has a anchor on it, which is Sailor's logo. It's quite a nice detail, I think. And then unscrew it, and plastic grip section, silver ring, and then we have the real star of the show here, which is this beautiful 21 karat two-tone Sailor nib. On the side here you can see it says HF, which is for hard fine, I believe. You can just see really nice crisp engraving, or I don't know if is engraving the right word? Yeah, I guess it's engraving. Yeah, really crisp engraving. Nice two-tone nib. Now this is about the same size as a Pilot number 10 nib, and about the same size as a Platinum 3776 Century nib. So it's a full-size nib. The shape of this nib is a little bit skinnier than those other two nibs, so it does kind of have a smaller appearance, but it's the same length, and it is a very nice shape. I really like these nibs. One of the things that I really like about this pen is that it doesn't have seams on the grip section despite being a plastic grip section. All the pens that I've used in the custom line, in Pilot's custom line, even the $500 845 custom that I reviewed recently, I'll put a link up above if you want to see that review, they all have seams on the grip section. And I don't personally like that. I don't want to touch a seam when I'm holding the pen, and Sailor did a good job, in my opinion, by not putting that on the grip section. Now, as a trade-off, there are seams right here in two different places, and I do find that dust collects at those two seams, so I am kind of brushing out dust from the threads, which is admittedly kind of annoying, but I like that trade-off to not have seams on the grip section. Oh, and we can quickly take a look at the feed. It's a plastic feed, but big fins, very nice ink flow on this pen. It's a good feed. Now here we have a Sailor cartridge. This does take proprietary cartridge or converter, so you do have to buy Sailor brand cartridges, although they come in a lot of nice colors, and Sailor makes really excellent, fun inks. Okay, so that's the walkthrough of the pen. Let's do some measurements. This is about 128 millimeters long, so it's a pretty short pen, but it's got a nice width to it. I'm looking at right about, I would say that's 116 millimeters. I do like to use this pen posted. I think it works really well. This is about 149, 150 millimeters actually. And then in terms of width, grip section to start, 11.3. And then the narrower part down here, 10.6. So good size, nice comfortable width grip section. And then the barrel, did I forget to do the barrel? Barrel, 13.3 millimeters at its widest point. About 23.3 grams. That's a nice weight. This isn't lightweight for a plastic pen like this, but it's not heavy. It feels good quality. Let's do the box. So this is the outer sleeve, PG12, I believe is the model number for this box. It's a blue leatherette box, or I don't know, it's a leather-like material. Inside, Sailor in gold. This comes out. This pen came with 2 blue cartridges. And then here we have a warranty card. And this is the instruction manual, how to use the pen in English and Japanese. And that's the box. It's a nice, durable box. It reminds me actually a lot of a old Waterman box. Let's do the writing sample. So this is a Sailor Professional gear, and this is a fine nib, and it's the 21 karat gold version, and this is Sailor Blue, or is it blue black? I'm not sure. Yep, I think I picked up a bit of dust there. Sorry for the handwriting today, it's not looking too good. Let's try fast writing. Lazy dog. Okay. It's quite a fine width, and it does have a touch of feedback, but I think it feels really nice. If you're someone that doesn't like feedback though, you're not gonna like this. You'll like the Pilot or the Platinum fine nib better than this, but this nib has a good personality to it. It is really fine, so I do find that on some papers I can cut into the paper if I'm not careful. The other thing that I noticed with this pen, and I think it is because the point is so fine, if I leave the pen for 3 or 4 minutes, not very long, it'll skip for just a second, and we kind of saw that up here. But once it gets going, there's no issues. I don't experience any skipping when I'm using it in a normal writing session. In terms of softness, I've had multiple Sailor nibs on another Japanese brand called Ohashido. Those are kind of a high-end ebonite Japanese pen, but they use 14 karat gold Sailor nibs. And in terms of feel, I can't really say I notice a difference between the 14 karat and the 21 karat gold nib. And I am picking up, sorry about this, some dust in there. There we go. This is more the normal width. Or I don't know if it's dust. Maybe I cut into the paper and it's picking up paper. I'm not sure. But anyway, in terms of line variation, it's a soft-ish nib. I don't really like pushing on it too much, but you can get a little bit of line variation if you're careful. And as always, when you're applying pressure to a nib that isn't designed to flex, you gotta be really careful. I've never sprung a nib, but it can be done, and I know lots of experienced fountain pen users that have sprung a nib, so you just need to be careful of that. And look, these cross strokes are actually quite noisy, and there's feedback there. Reverse writing. Yeah, seems like it can do it, and that is quite a fine point, although it doesn't really seem that much finer than writing with it the correct way. Yeah, it does reverse writing, but I don't know, what's the point of that when it's the same width. It's a really nice writing pen. Anyway, that's the writing sample. So what are my pros and cons for the Sailor Professional Gear Classic? Well, my number one pro is going to be the nib. Compared to the Platinum and the Pilot competition, this nib is by far the most pretty. It's a two-tone nib, 21 karat gold. It has really deep and crisp engraving or stamping. And it's also, I think, the most unique to write with. It has feedback, so if you don't like feedback, you're probably not going to like this pen. But it has more personality than the typical Pilot and Platinum nib. And that's not to say that those aren't good nibs. Those are really good nibs, and it's just more of a unique experience. And that's really, I think, the star of this pen. I do like the size of this pen. It's very comfortable. I think for everyone other than those with, really big hands, this is a very nice pen, especially if you like posting your pen. This one works really well posted. Now, in terms of cons, for me, the biggest con is kind of the looks of it. I just said I like the proportions of this pen. The way that it kind of bulges out in the middle and then tapers down here, I don't really love it. It's very similar in shape to one of my favorite pens, the Aurora Optima, but this is a much more subtle taper, and it just looks better to me than this. So that's, I think, the biggest con for me. The other thing I don't love about this pen is there are two seams on the threads. Maybe it's just because it's a black pen, I don't know. It collects dust right on those seams, and I find that I'm taking a brush to clean out those threads all the time, and can't really think of another pen where I'm paying so much attention to the threads. Those seams are a dust magnet. And then the other thing to discuss is price. There are some products that are much more expensive in the United States than they are in Japan, and unfortunately this is one of those things. The retail price, $340, street price something maybe like $270. In Japan, you can buy this pen for about $175. I want to support the local US pen resellers, but if you're telling me this pen is $100 more, over 30% more expensive to buy it in the United States, I don't really want to do that. I bought this from a Japanese seller on Amazon for about $175. Now, I don't know if this would qualify for a warranty from Sailor. I haven't really read on what their warranty is if I buy it from Japan and I'm in the United States, so I'm just assuming there isn't a warranty. When you buy from Japan, returning it can be more of a headache and you might lose shipping costs, so there's definitely pros and cons to buying from a Japanese seller versus a US seller. The price is wonky on these pens in the United States. I really don't feel like I should be paying $100 more to have the one in the United States. Now, with that said, in the US, you're going to have US exclusive colors. So if there's a color that you like that they're only doing in North America, you know, you're gonna have to buy that. Those are my pros and cons for the Sailor Professional Gear. Do you guys have this pen? Do you like this pen? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more fountain pen, paper, and ink videos, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much, and until next time.